Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of The Bald Brad Show. It is officially Thursday, February 13th, and Donald Trump is still, by far, not even close, the best president in American history. Not even close, baby. It looks like there may be some hiccups going on over at Rumble. Not sure if we got it fixed for all of you, but it looks like we did in the last minute. And I think it's attributed to the Windows update that I had to install late last night. But it's good to see all you Patriots. Let me wet my whistle because we're doing rapid fire news today. As you see, the thumbnail is White House bombshell and DOGE uncovers massive corruption. Jeez. I mean, the stuff they're coming out with, folks. At some point, we're going to be numb to it all. But like I said, we got to get in the news here. There's a lot of it. Well, jumping into our first headline of the day, this was big news. Trump announces start of negotiations to end the war in Ukraine after call with Putin. So I'm going to kind of fill in a little bit of the gaps here for all you fine Patriots in the chat, baby, and hit that like button if you haven't already. Trump is going to schedule a meeting, which you're going to see in just one moment, and going to start negotiations. He plans on first meeting Putin in Saudi Arabia. And I would imagine there's going to be a lot of Middle Eastern talks over there about Gaza and what they're going to do with it and who can get involved and who can help, make Gaza great again, I guess. And then he plans on having Putin come to the United States. And then Trump plans on going to Russia to visit Putin as well. So a lot of meetings are being had here. He's also getting Zelensky on the phone immediately. I'd imagine the phone call has already taken place. But let's jump a little bit into this, folks, because there's a lot of players here. President Donald Trump has announced the start of negotiations to end the war in Ukraine following a highly productive phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It took Trump 3 weeks to call Putin. Now, allegedly, I just want to be clear, allegedly there was conversations before he was actually elected in the office. So I'll give him that. And I'm not ragging on the guy. I'm bringing up the point that Joey didn't talk to Putin for like 2 years. And then he's saying, oh, we're going to get this handled. We're going to try to figure this out. We're going to get a deal made, blah, blah, blah. For 4 years, he told us that. Trump here, matter of weeks, pushing things forward. Quote, we have also agreed to have our respective teams start negotiations immediately. And we will begin by calling President Zelensky of Ukraine to inform him of the conversation, something which I will be doing right now, Trump posted on Truth Social. Trump said he is taking Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Director of the CIA John Ratcliffe, National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, and Ambassador and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who's really good at negotiations. He's the one that's getting a lot of the hostages out of certain areas, with leading the negotiations. Millions of people have died in a war that would not have happened if I were president, but it did happen, so it must end, Trump said. No more lives should be lost. This was also a little bit echoed by Pete Hegseth, which we'll get into, folks. Like I said, there's some order to this and there's some non-order to this. But there was a clip that I saw where Pete Hegseth came out and said, look, enough with sending all this stuff to Ukraine. They're going to have to deal with this stuff on their own. And that's going to be right here. Breaking. Here you go.
We want, like you, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. But we must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective. Chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering. A durable peace for Ukraine must include robust security guarantees to ensure that the war will not begin again. This must not be Minsk 3.0. That said, the United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement. Instead, any security guarantee must be backed by capable European and non-European troops. If these troops are deployed as peacekeepers to Ukraine at any point, they should be deployed as part of a non-NATO mission, and they should not be covered under Article 5.
That's coming from Pete Hegseth. Again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about how Donald Trump has now started negotiations with Russia, effective as of yesterday. The Defense Secretary here, Pete Hegseth, said on Ukraine that there's not going to be any NATO membership, no return to pre-2014 borders, no U.S. troops in Ukraine, and no more relying on U.S. for the majority of military funding. We're seeing the ball move here, and a lot of this is being vocalized so that Putin knows what's going on, and that Putin has a little bit of assurance, and I think he does, especially already dealing with Trump back in 2016, where, look, we just don't want war. We want peace. We want people to do well. And we'll leave it at that. There's a lot more that goes into it. And I think maybe Ukraine might lose some ground here. They might lose some territory and give it up to Russia. But we'll see. Trump is the king of negotiations. He knows what he's doing. He's the best. He's the brightest. He's the king. All right. Well, the White House was just raining down elbows on the press yesterday. And I apologize for not doing an evening show, folks. I know I said I would be on for 2-a-days sometimes, but I mean, after a day at work, I'm sometimes just exhausted where I just go home and pass out. And so I didn't wake up till late in the evening last night, did some things, and then I went right back to bed. Well, here you have it. Judges halting Trump orders are continuing weaponization of justice, White House says. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt described injunctions on President Donald Trump's executive orders as the continuation of weaponization of justice during Wednesday's press briefing. I tend to agree with what she's saying here, and here it is from yesterday's White House press briefing.
More on the judges. Does the White House believe the courts have the authority to issue these nationwide injunctions?
We believe that the injunctions that have been issued by these judges have no basis in the law and have no grounds. And we will, again, as the president said very clearly yesterday, comply with these orders. But it is the administration's position that we will also ultimately be vindicated. And the president's executive actions that he took were completely within the law. They were constitutional. And we look forward to the day where he can continue to implement his agenda. And I would just add, it's our view that this is the continuation of the weaponization of justice that we have seen against President Trump. He fought it for 2 years on the campaign trail. It won't stop him now. Brian, Mary.
I don't think it's going to stop for the next 4 years. I think there's always going to be some rogue judge that's a progressive lefty that wants to inject their little paws and feet into everything because they're probably somebody they're probably bought off at the end of the day. I mean, hell, look what USAID was giving people. I want to know where all this money is going, and I think we're going to find out. And what I mean by I want to know where it's going, I don't think we really spent $59 million on condoms for Mozambique. They updated us. It didn't go to Gaza. It went to Mozambique. Like, that's any better. No, I think this stuff was all funneled. I think there's a lot of embezzlement. And I will continue to say this. What we are witnessing, and I do believe it, we are witnessing the greatest money laundering scheme in human history, not U.S. history, not Russia history, humans. Since humans have existed, this is what we're seeing. Bonkers. Thank you so much for saying that. I know it's probably too early to ask. Smash that like button. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for writing that in the chat. It's a good reminder, and it does help support the show greatly. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Oh, we got Leavitt back again saying White House won't let media admin. Democrats show division in the administration. So she said on Wednesday, accusing Democrats of trying to turn Trump's administration, as well as the media outlets, officials against each other through mischaracterizations and false information. And I think she misunderstood the guy's question at the beginning here, but luckily she gave him an opportunity to follow up, because the question that he proposes is ridiculous and it's silly on its face. But when he follows up, you see why he asked the question in the first place. So don't get on his ass right when he asks the first question. Wait till you listen to everything. I think you'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Thank you, Karoline. Does Elon Musk have power of the presidency?
Absolutely not.
Right.
That's a ridiculous question.
I asked that question because, the Democrats have been hurling insults at Elon Musk, hurling attacks, calling him President Musk. Most recently, Jamie Raskin, the congressman, took it a step further, calling for Musk's impeachment, saying that he somehow usurped the power of the presidency. What's your response?
It's utterly ridiculous. Elon Musk addressed this in the Oval Office yesterday. The president addressed it as well. Elon Musk is serving at the pleasure of the president, just like everybody else on this team. He takes directives directly from the president of the United States. And I think some of the comments that you referred to are nothing more than a failed attempt from the media and from Democrats to try to sow division in this White House. We saw them do it in the first term. We're not going to let them do it in the second term. This is a unified team who is working at the pleasure of the president to do its.
Love it. Love it. Cuts her off there. But you get the power behind it. Going, look, we're not going to take your crap. You're going to try to lie. We know you're going to try to lie. You're going to try to spin different narratives. You're going to try to make it seem like we're doing something wrong when we're doing something right. And we're ready for it. We were ready for it in 2016. So bring it on. If you want to continue this crap, well, then we'll call you out for it. And that's exactly what she says here, where she rips CNN reporter, who's Caitlin Collins, by the way, just smacking her around. I don't like Caitlin Collins, if you haven't figured that out. Caitlin Collins, to me, is exactly what Jim Acosta was to Donald Trump. I don't like her. I think she's smug. I think there's a tinge of evil inside her, to be honest. But let's get to this nonetheless, because we do have a clip of it. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt got blunt with CNN's Caitlin Collins on Wednesday over her advocacy for a AP reporter who was barred from the Oval Office last night because the organization refused to acknowledge the Gulf of Mexico despite it being officially renamed, which we did cover, by the way. We were covering the fact that, hey, if you don't want to abide by something, well, you don't have a right to the Oval Office. Do I think we should have journalists kind of everywhere covering the news, whether they're spitting their bull crap or not? Absolutely. But it just is a point that needs to be made early on. Who has the power here? And it's Donald Trump. It's not the media. So if you don't recognize her, failed news anchor goes to White House correspondent, which isn't a bad position, but she was basically demoted.
Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in
I just want to posit what a remarkable hypocrite this woman is, man. Well, are you gonna take retaliatory measures if people don't use the language that you want? And isn't that going against the First Amendment? You mean over the last freaking decade, where if Republicans and current conservatives didn't call you by the correct pronouns, didn't use the correct language that you wanted, didn't you fire them from their jobs? Didn't you get rid of them? Didn't you berate them in the streets? Didn't you go on mainstream media and slap them around? Didn't you use the big tech companies and these corporations to silence and censor them? Case in point, Charlie Kirk for going on Twitter back in the day before Elon Musk even owned it and goes, hey, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. You guys banned him. Jordan B. Peterson of the Daily Wire comes out and goes, hey, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. You banned him. Then you got the editorial Federalist going, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. You banned him. You mean like that, Caitlin? It's funny how we could just bring this up, right? Just off the top of our heads. Don't give me this crap. What a hypocrite. And if CNN of all people, we're the most trustworthy news. Yeah, right. Nick at night when everybody's asleep gets more views than CNN. And that's a real thing.
In my briefing on day one, that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server, and Apple has recognized that, Google has recognized that, pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America, and it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest
of the world. But they don't want to cover it because they don't like Trump, right? They're going to do everything they can to go against the guy. They want to make his life a living hell. They can't go with the agenda. Everything he does is wrong. Nothing he does is right. The guy can cure cancer, and they'll still be bitching, moaning, complaining about something. Oh, well, he didn't cure it fast enough. Oh, well, why did he do it in 2016 if he knew about the cure? Some stupid stuff like that, right? God, these people. Well, it wasn't just that one reporter. Karoline is also shutting down the New York Times over here. I mean, this is going to be her job over the next 4 years, is just slapping the media and the press around that don't want to go with the flow. And for some ungodly reason, still thinks that they can go up against Donald Trump. I don't understand it. How many times do you need to get your ass kicked for you to realize you just don't have it in you? You're not that guy. You're not that guy. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, folks, hit that like button. We got a lot of people watching us over at YouTube, Rumble, and X. Would appreciate all the love and support you continue to show me by pressing that like button. If you want to follow us, we do a show each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, like you're seeing right now, where we go over a crap ton of news. So hit that like button and follow us. It's absolutely free. There's a conflict of interest law in place that says that people would have personal interests can't interact with government entities that could touch on those, Haberman said. Has President Trump signed a waiver for Elon Musk? Does such thing exist? So again, this is going up against the New York Times, where you have Karoline Leavitt dismissing concerns from the New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman about the administration's restrictions on Elon Musk. This is going back towards our evening show that we did the other night. If you missed it, that is still up there, where we covered Elon Musk in Donald Trump's Oval Office. And reporters, rather than being concerned about how we're spending our money, are more concerned about Elon Musk having some sort of conflict of interest. It was the oddest thing to me. In the Oval, you guys, you really got to go. I mean, we had a blast, man. We put on the dark MAGA hat and everything. If you didn't see that episode of Elon Musk in Trump's White House, we have a good time. So just watch that after this. Once this podcast is done, you're going to have a freaking blast. Going over all the stuff that he exposed, everything. And it bewildered all of us, where the reporters kept asking Elon Musk, hey, are you going to recuse yourself from certain things? And he's like, yeah, it's not a problem. If you see something that I don't, let me know and I'll recuse myself. It's not that big of a deal. And they kept asking those types of questions. All the while, Donald Trump and Elon Musk are exposing where we're spending billions of dollars of fraud, money laundering, waste, and reporters are more concerned about something else. It just shows you that they don't care about this country. They care about an agenda, and that agenda is progressive, and the progressive agenda is going to destroy this country, which is why I wrote an entire book on it called Trojan Horse, how the left is destroying America, and they will never stop.
Good to see you.
Thanks for taking the question. You talked about the transparency with DOGE and Elon Musk's press availability yesterday. There is a conflict of interest law in place that says that people who have personal interests can't interact with government entities that could touch on those. Has President Trump signed a waiver for Elon Musk? Does such a thing exist? If it does, will you guys release it in the interest of transparency that he's committed to?
I have not seen the law that you are referring to. What I can tell you is that Elon Musk, as I've confirmed before, is a special government employee. He is filing the proper financial disclosure, and he is complying with all applicable federal laws. As you also heard, Elon address this directly yesterday in the alleged conflict of interest, and he said everything he's doing is very public, and if you all perceive a conflict of interest, you're welcome to bring that up. And as the president said, if he feels like Elon is engaging in something that's a conflict of interest, he will tell Elon not to do that. And Elon also said yesterday that before he moves forward with anything, he consults with the President of the United States. So we're very confident with the ethics and the guardrails that have been put in place here. Maggie.
I can't tell. Again, it's tough for me as somebody that covers these White House press briefings, because I like some of the people in that room, and then I really don't like some of the people in that room. So it's tough when I'm talking about in terms of the media. You guys know this. I know I don't need to explain it to you, but there's some leftists and progressives that do stumble in here every now and then. There's some good reporters in there, and there's some really trash reporters like Caitlin Collins. And it sucks because I try to advocate for those that are good, and then I try to, smack around those that are bad. And Karoline Leavitt, I think, will get down who's good and who's bad. And just speaking of where our money's going and the fraud and waste that's taking place, I'm not going to show the whole podcast because it's 3.5 hours. And quite frankly, I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but you're damn right. I'll be watching the whole thing sooner or later. You have Mike Benz on the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday talking about how the USAID told Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and I'm highlighting that for a reason, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, to eliminate the financial incentives and nuke the ad revenue if they didn't like what they said. Is that not in line to what we're seeing here on my channel, folks? A lot of you are on the same line as me, the same line of thinking, the same page. Y'all have written it in the comments in the past, especially if you're a newcomer here going, how the hell does this guy have like 400 views and 50 likes when he has almost 70,000 followers on YouTube alone, almost 2,000 on Rumble, almost 6,000 on TikTok, 300 on Twitter? How does that even happen? How is he only getting 4 views an hour? I'm right there with you because what's happening? We're being shadow banned and suppressed. There's no other reasoning for it. I have over 2,000 videos on YouTube. You're telling me you couldn't pump out one of them for every now and then to make the views go up a little bit? 2,000 videos, meaning 99% of them get how many views? 0? Really? Come on. Danielle, thank you so much for the $10. You're doing great, Brad. We love you. I love you guys too. You guys are freaking remarkable and you're awesome. You're fun to hang out with. I said this every morning. It's not easy waking up at 4:30 in the morning, especially when I go to bed at, sometimes 2 a.m. because I work multiple jobs. You guys, that's not me complaining. I just love hanging out with you and I'm really privileged and thank you for letting me hang out with you, basically. So here we go. He's going to expose some stuff here for all of you. Here we go.
Just the first 2 entries from this. What can technology companies do? So this is USAID telling Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, eliminate the financial incentives, nuke their ad revenue if we don't like what they say. What could national governments do? Again, this is our government funded by our tax dollars telling foreign governments that they should regulate ad networks to kill the ad revenue of U.S. social media websites and U.S. news entities, like has been caught up in the advertiser database at state and USAID under the Biden administration. And there's a million more examples like this. Just the first 2 entries from this.
Isn't that? I mean, we're not surprised, right? None of us in here is like, whoa, what? But it just gives more credibility to when you see a conservative Republican say something of, hey, I'm pretty sure shadow banning is going on. Something weird is happening because we all know how predominantly statistics works and how things are supposed to function naturally. And when things don't function naturally, things are a little odd. I would like to see some sort of ramification happen here with YouTube because I know there's some nefarious stuff. And if there isn't, then hey, I'll be more than happy to do multiple shows saying, I apologize, I was wrong, I'll look like an idiot, blah, blah, blah. There is a massive lawsuit going on, by the way, between Rumble and YouTube. And I've given Rumble full clearance to use in the discovery section of the lawsuit to look at my channel and whatever the hell they need. Full disclosure, man, because I want that stuff to be found out because it's bullcrap. And if there is something, I might file a lawsuit in the future because that's bullshit. And I'm sorry to cuss, but it is. And I mean that in all literal sense, folks. If you want to, I've never bought a sub. I've never bought a like. I've never bought a comment. I've only bought ads on Google, which they have suppressed. I don't talk about this often, this part. Majority of the ads, and I have the damn receipts. Majority, 90% of the ads that I try to run, maybe even more than that, are turned down. Just to let you know. Just to let you know. You might be wondering why am I being very selective on the videos I run ads on? Because they don't allow me to run ads on my videos. And you're seeing that in real time. Well, where else are we spending our money, folks? Where else are we sending our money to other than hardworking Americans that are in trouble or in need? Well, the EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin announces that $20 billion with a B in taxpayer funds were just discovered laundered into the external financial institutions managed by agents of the Biden administration to finance left-wing NGOs. And we said this was happening. I'm going to bring you down memory lane really quick, Patriots, for those that have been with me for years. 3 years ago, we were covering these undocumented planes coming into the interior of the United States under the dark of the night, and they were offloading illegal immigrants. This is going way back into the Biden administration. We showed body cam footage of it. We showed reports of it. And what they were doing was they were taking these illegal immigrants from these NGOs into unmarked vans and redistributing them into the interior of the country. And now this comes out. Now you get more receipts 3 years later about the money laundering scheme. And our question was, who's paying for this? It doesn't make sense that it's all coming from George Soros. And we all said here, for those early on going, this has to be coming from somewhere. Like this has to be funded through the Democrat Party or something. Well, lo and behold, guess who it was funded from? Agents from the Biden administration. So here we are being called conspiracy theorists for years. And once again, we're right. $7 billion was sent to an entity called Climate United Fund. Oh, so we're not going to watch this whole thing because it's a few minutes, but I at least want to show a little bit of a clip.
Administrator Leavitt, one of my very top priorities at EPA is to be an excellent steward of your hard-earned tax dollars. There will be zero tolerance of any waste and abuse. An extremely disturbing video circulated 2 months ago featuring a Biden EPA political appointee talking about how they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic, rushing to get billions of your tax dollars out the door before Inauguration Day. The gold bars were tax dollars, and tossing them off the Titanic meant the Biden administration knew they were wasting it.
Oh, yeah.
Following this revelation, during my meetings with members of Congress, I made a very important commitment to them and to the American people, which I reiterated at my confirmation hearing that if confirmed, I would immediately get a full accounting.
Oh boy, and are we? I mean, we haven't even touched the big stuff yet. That's the crazy thing. And we're saving billions, obviously, but we haven't even looked at the Pentagon. We haven't looked at the defense budget because remember, we saw a glimpse of this. Oh God, I wish I could find the clip. This happened a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, where there's a congressman, military bolts hearing. There was a congressman that held up the bolts and he was asking, hey, like, what's going on here? So let me see if I can get the clip here for you right here. Oh God, we're so good. We're good here, folks. Here we go. There was a congressman that talked about, hey, how much do you think this bag of bolts cost? Watch this. This will bring you down memory lane.
I yield back, Mr. Chair.
The gentleman from Florida, Mr. Waltz, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Secretary, I was struck by a statement you just made, and I just want to touch on Representative Gates's concern about readiness. I'm the chairman of the trucks that can operate in the desert and can operate out in the corrosive environment in the Pacific. So let's talk about some of your pickup trucks. The Air Force owns and operates DOD's largest fleet of commercial derivative aircraft. They use commercial parts.
We still have good audio, folks? You able to hear this, or was it just the last clip? It might have been just the last clip. All he was saying was he's the new incumbent individual for that position, and that he made an oath to the American people that if he was sworn into that position, that he would expose all the corruption and where the money's going. That's all that clip was saying. I apologize. I didn't know you guys weren't able to hear it. I could hear it from my end on my speakers, which usually are flown into you guys. So here he is. He's now gonna talk about these bolts on how we're spending. You're about to fall over in your chair.
This, Mr. Secretary, is a bag of bushings. This bag of bushings, stamped out by machinists, they need a high school diploma. It's not anything high tech about this. All of this bag is compliant with the FAA specifications. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag of bushings?
Listen to this.
I don't know, Congressman.
$90,000. This is a $90,000 bag of bushings that you need for any jet turbine engine just to operate. So the exorbitant cost due to DOD only buying commercial parts from the OEMs, which is essentially sole source, is literally driving us out of business. I mean, the interest on our debt alone is now exceeding, for the first time in American history, the entire defense budget. We can't afford it anymore. So with FAA compliant parts, you cut the cost in half or even more. So my question is,
basically that's about $5 worth of bushings at Lowe's. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not for the time. This was 9 months ago, so not even a year ago. God, it seems like it's been so long since we had dealt with the Biden administration. Holy Lordy, the stuff we've been through. The stuff we have freaking been through, Patriots. Dealing with freaking Joey and his nonsense. But look, that's the stuff we haven't touched yet. That was that whole cliche of, a $30,000 toilet seat is because there's massive fraud taking place. The contracts that are being signed are totally bogus. And we're just throwing money out the window. And finally, we've had enough of it. And finally, it's the conservative Republicans that are exposing this crap. It's not the Democrats. It's not the progressives. It's us, because we want to make America great again. And I'll tell you what, the Democrats sure in hell don't, because they're the ones bitching, moaning, complaining about us exposing all this stuff. Now, DOGE just canceled 3 DEI contracts totaling $45 million from the EPA. Look at this. Just a snap of the fingers. Boom, boom, boom. Deleted, terminated, gone. See you later. You're fired. And anything that has to do with the EPA, Democrats don't even know what this has to do with, and they're losing their minds over it. They don't have a damn clue. The Democrats are the same people that didn't even know how to budget their own freaking campaign. Remember that? Kamala Harris came out. Oh, we're in debt. I can't pay my employees. She couldn't even budget a campaign. How do you expect her to figure any of this out? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? I don't think so. Not one bit. So they're complaining. Democrats are losing their minds. And this idiot, Robert Garcia, who I believe is from Long Beach, if I remember correctly, which isn't too far from me, has declared war on Elon Musk, and he called for actual weapons to be used against him. Check this out. Unbelievable. This is how unhinged Democrats are, man. This is how lunatic these people are in my state.
Why? But do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick. And I think that he's also harming the American public in an enormous way.
Oh, shut
And what
up.
I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country, and it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship. This is the person that lies more than anybody else in the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy. And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do: dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education, dismantling all of our consumer protection agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public and call Elon Musk out for what he is, and to make people know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a serious legislator, and she shouldn't be treated as such.
Call him out for what? Call him out for what? Exposing your guys sending $59 million worth of condoms to Mozambique? About you wanting to trans monkeys? Like, what the hell are you talking about? I should call his office just because I'm not too far away and see if I can set up an interview with this guy. I'm dead serious. I'm going to try to do it. I guarantee you they won't do it, right? They'll come up with an excuse. Oh, you're too small, or he doesn't have time, blah, blah, blah. I'll call his ass out. We'll do it live, man. Just... He won't do it. It's amazing he's going to talk about lying. How about the fact that your freaking party, the massive, biggest laundering scheme that's ever existed? What a nut job. He's going to call Elon Musk a dick because he didn't like the way he talked. I'm fine with that language, by the way. I don't care about Democrats coming out and calling us names. They've been doing it. They call us racist, bigots, xenophobes, hell, every name in the book they throw our way. We call them one harmful name. They lose their crap. How could you call me that, you racist? But it's okay for them to call us names. You see how that works? Yeah, it's always one-sided. Always one-sided. Now, speaking of lies, right? No, you just heard from the horse's mouth of the Democrat Party that Marjorie Taylor Greene was the biggest liar in Congress. Forget Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Ilhan Omar, AOC, all those people. Forget those people. Yeah, we can't talk about them. You know, it's Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff, the biggest liar and most corrupt person in all of Congress right now. From my home state, it's funny how all the people from my home state are the most corrupt, right? Well, we just happen to have this article queued up, don't we? Newsweek fudges numbers to falsely claim Biden outpaced Trump on deportations. Oh, really? Shocker here. Well, if you read Newsweek yesterday, you may have been shocked to find that Donald Trump is deporting migrants at half the speed of his predecessor, Joe Biden. There's just one problem. The analysis is obviously what? Bogus. It's fake. It's not real. It's fake news. And Newsweek is knowingly running with it anyways. Yeah, because they don't care. It's not about getting the truth out to the American people. It never has been for some of these outlets. It's about fabricating stories that are misleading the American people to get them to vote Democrat and to hate Donald Trump. That's really all it is. It's a massive propaganda scheme. Now, we'll see if they're able to continue with it because the USAID is not going to be funding these nut jobs anymore. And, well, hopefully they get fired or nobody reads them. Newsweek published a comparison this week of Trump's migrant deportation numbers compared to Biden's. It notably was featured on the Drudge Report with the headline, Trump's deportations half pace of Biden. It likely won eyeballs because of how shocking the statistic would be to anyone following the news of Tom Homan's deportation efforts, but Newsweek insisted it was true. The piece quotes an anonymous expert saying, it's always anonymous, right? But it's an expert, but it's anonymous. If the new administration continues at that clip, then it would be on track to deport half the number of migrants removed during former President Joe Biden's last full fiscal year in 2024. But a closer look at the data reveals a glaring problem, folks. Patriots, the piece compares the Trump administration's public disclosure that it has deported about 5,600 illegal aliens since taking office. The Biden administration, meanwhile, had about 49,000 total removals in November 2024 alone. But this is far from apples to apples comparison. The figure used by Newsweek journalist for Biden refers to an repatriation, a broad segment that, I don't know why I don't just move it up, sorry. A broad segment that even includes Border Patrol agents turning people away at the border. In reality, according to the public accessible data, the Biden administration removed just under 48,000 illegals in all of fiscal year 2024. So they just blatantly lied about it. It's unbelievable. If you compare apples to apples, the number of illegal immigrants deported by ICE, you'll see that the Trump administration is already deporting 3 times as many illegal immigrants per week as the Biden administration ever did. Yeah, I'm going to read that again. That's how far off these people were. The number of illegal immigrants deported by ICE, you'll see that the Trump administration has already deported 3 times as many illegal immigrants per week than Joe Biden ever did. Not even close. But that's what they're going to do, folks. And we'll be here to call it out over the next 4 years and beyond, because the media will not stop. We keep saying it. They will not stop in their shenanigans. They will not stop lying about Donald Trump and his agenda, which is to make America great again, folks. It will not end. And if you're always wondering, and some of you write in the chat, Brad, how's the beard looking so good? That came from Pat, by the way, if you want to have the receipts so you know I'm not making it up in the chat. Well, I drink Rumble 1775 coffee, folks, and it is freaking good. My tongue is laced with it right now, and I'm amped, baby. Do you enjoy free speech that Rumble is protecting and fighting for, folks? Because I sure in hell do. Our show on Rumble is only possible thanks to our viewers. All of you fine patriots, and you deserve a salute. Thanks to our viewers supporting Rumble's platform by purchasing Rumble's products. Most of you drink coffee every day. Hell, we're a morning show, obviously. We got to drink coffee. We got to get amped, baby. And that's why you have to try Rumble 1775 coffee. It's actually some of the best coffee around. And it's the same price as the coffee you buy, except it's just way better. So you're getting a better product for the same price. Rumble 1775 coffee is free from chemicals, yet rich in flavor. And let me tell you, the flavor is kicking, baby. This is because their beans are sourced from high altitude farms in freaking Bolivia. Then, folks, they handpick this stuff and roast it in their facilities in Miami and deliver it freaking fresh to your doorstep. And as believers in freedom, buying from Rumble helps fight against woke corporations like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. Remember, Rumble doesn't get much advertising from these corporations because, hell, as we were just uncovering and unraveling, these corporations won't support people that go against certain speech. And we love Rumble here. Join the coffee revolution and brew revolution and rebellion with Rumble 1775 coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com, use promo code STUDIO, and get a free month supply of their cognitive boosting supplement Limitless when you buy 2 bags of their coffee. Maybe Joe should have bought that. Think about that. That's a crazy deal, folks. And the supplement alone is worth more than 2 bags of coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com and try their amazing coffee and brew. Oh, man. So I get the dark roast. A lot of you like the medium roast. If you want to know how good I like my, just me alone, how good I like, I can't, we're almost out. It looks like it's empty, but I don't want to spill it. You guys believe me, right? There's coffee in there. I drink my coffee black. So I am like a coffee connoisseur. I freaking love it. And I love the taste. I don't go any further. Get the bag coffee. I'm telling you, it's good. And it also supports Rumble. It really does. Well, we got an update on that $59 million that FEMA spent on housing for illegal aliens. We have an update here, folks. I love when there's just people in office that are for us, the American people. Well, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, has reportedly clawed back the $59 million that was sent by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to house illegal aliens. Allegedly, we got this money back. This is coming from Bill. I always mess up his last name. I've been calling him Melligan or for whatever for like the last 4 years. Sorry, Bill. Still don't know how to pronounce your last name. News report, but he's great. Fox News reporter Bill posted the news via X, sharing a statement here, saying DHS says has clawed back the full $59 million. This is a win, baby. We're saving money. We're exposing Democrats, and we're reeling it back into the pockets of where it's supposed to go, meaning FEMA, to spend on actual Americans, maybe North Carolina. That would be nice. Got no qualms with you taking that check right now and just giving it to the North Carolina people and helping them out. No qualms with that. And you're talking about a fiscal conservative here, folks. The full $59 million FEMA gave to New York City for migrant hotels. Not just migrant hotels. I think, Bill, you're kind of downplaying this. Luxury hotels, by the way. Luxury hotels. I accidentally clicked on that. Where was I? Which led to the firing of several individuals involved. A statement of Fox News DHS spokesperson Secretary Noem has clawed back the full payment that FEMA deep state activists unilaterally gave to New York City migrant hotels. There will not be a single penny spent that goes against the interest and safety of the American people. Oh, God, thank you. That deserves a like right there, folks. That deserves a like. We got our money back. Thank God. Thank God. So tired of the wasteful spending because Democrats wanted to house people like this. Democrats wanted to house people like this. 8 illegal immigrants arrested, accused of running sex trafficking ring tied to this gang. This is who Democrats wanted. Mm-hmm. Yep. Ask them. No, ask them. Democrats will, no, what they might do is they'll say with their mouth, no, I'm cool with them getting arrested. I'm thrown in the prison. Are you cool with them getting deported? Well, I think they deserve a second chance. Really? Because they're doing a sex trafficking ring with little children. Are you cool with that? And then they'll walk that fine line, kind of like the Palestinians do with terrorism and supporting it. That's what the Democrats do when it comes to oppressing people, and wanting to shadow ban people and allow criminals to run roughshod over your entire neighborhood and then sex traffic your child. Yeah. None of what I'm saying is wrong, by the way. Hand to God, we've seen them roll in here, right? We've seen the Democrats, the progressive lefties roll in here. We saw it before the election. They all wanted to vote in Joe Biden. Then when he got his ass kicked against Donald Trump, then they wanted Kamala Harris in, and we called him out. We say, are you for all these illegal immigrants? Are you for the sex trafficking, the drug trafficking, all this stuff taking place? They wouldn't answer us, right? We were all here. A lot of us were when we called out Dan, the bad Dan, and then we called out the other nut jobs. Called them out. We had a whole 6-minute rant. According to the New York Post, the suspects allegedly enticed women from Venezuela to come to Tennessee with promises to legitimate jobs, then forced them into prostitution to pay off steep travel debts, sometimes confiscating their children or immigration documents to ensure compliance. Oh, no, stop it, patriots. I see in the chat you can't say anything. We say this all the time. I know I repeat myself. They're here for a better life. Mm-hmm. They're here to assimilate into our creed and our value system, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the rights that are enshrined by our Creator, our Lord and Savior. No, they're here for all that. Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm. They're here to build our roads, and they're here to become accountants or whatever, run businesses that will flourish, that will have money going back into the community, that they'll donate and they'll help people. Yeah, they're gonna give their time to canned food drives on the weekends. Or they're going to come here illegally, siphon all your money, steal it, send it back to a bunch of terrorists or gangs in other countries that only allow them to prosper, send weapons across the border that they bought illegally, and then kill a bunch of you, and then send your children off to other countries to be sex slaves. That might happen too. Democrats love it. I don't need to add anything here. That's what they're doing. You're seeing it here. I mean, the headline says everything. And remember, these people didn't exist for the longest time. We were told by the media. We covered it. Yeah, it was Kristen Welker said these people aren't doing this. They're not taking over apartment buildings. Yeah, no, not happening. I called it out exactly what they were doing. Kristen Welker with JD Vance, the interview that we covered. The Democrats want you. Well, can you play it? I want to see it with my own eyes. Why don't you look it up yourself? I can't pull up everything that I've covered in the last 4 years. That's insane. I don't script the show. I don't write it out. I don't read these articles ahead of time. I read the headlines. I go, this might be fun to go over. A lot of people think I have a teleprompter. I do, like right down there in a box, because I tried to do scripted shows for a while, and let me tell you, you guys did not like that. You made your voices heard, let me tell you. But I don't script this stuff. And when I say people think I do, you guys, I get a lot of advertisers want me to like use their stuff to write scripts with and everything. I don't script the show. You see my screen here. This is my screen. Over here, I can't show this side, but I have you guys up there on my chat. No script. No scripts this stuff. We got Benny Johnson here, where Pam Bondi says anyone leaking ICE operations will be arrested. We will not stand for it. Thank you, God. Wow. Such a amazing thing. Somebody saying, hey, we're going to prosecute you for not following the law.
The great men and women in law enforcement standing behind me today, they must be protected. And anytime anyone leaks or tips off anything regarding a pending investigation, that jeopardizes lives. You're telling a bad guy what's about to happen. It could jeopardize the lives of all the men and women in law enforcement. We will not stand for it. We will find you. We're going to investigate it, no matter what agency it came from. We don't know for certain. We have an open investigation, so I can't talk about it in detail, but we will do everything in our power to hold you accountable, and it is a crime, and you will be prosecuted when we find you.
Damn, I mean, her and Karoline Leavitt, it's like a mom figure that you just don't mess with. You know when the mom gives you the tone and the eyes and she ain't effing around? That is Pam Bondi and Karoline Leavitt, man. You don't mess with these women, dude. You don't mess with them. You just, okay, yeah. I'll follow along. I'll play nice. You want to F around and find out? I'll prosecute your ass, is basically what she said. Just like that. You don't get that from the Biden administration. No, we put things clear as crystal as day. Now, you think people are going to follow? They're not. You have people, Christians, Christian Mission Organization is encouraging illegal immigrants to hide identity from ICE. That's a fancy way of saying, hey, we're encouraging you to break the law. Not a good thing, by the way. Yeah, how about we follow the law that's on the books? A missions arm of conservative Protestant denomination is facing criticism after encouraging illegal immigrants to mislead federal immigration authorities and share resources from groups like the American Civil Liberties Union. Mission of North America, a subsidiary of the Presbyterian Church in America, PCA, shared a resource page offering legal advice to illegal immigrants and opinion on Trump administration immigration policy. The page began making the rounds on X Tuesday after it was shared by the woke preacher Clips. The PCA removed the page several hours later following criticism from conservative leaders and members of the denomination. The resource page called Refugee and Immigrant Ministry for Churches help immigrants facing, I love how they write that, right? Oh, help immigrants facing the policy changes. It's not immigrants. We all know an immigrant in here, right? I mean, we all seen people come here and immigrated here legally. My own family members, meaning my father, immigrated here legally. Notice that I don't have any qualms with that. I have a lot of people that I know that came here legally. That's how they get it. But remember, you know, hey, we're the ones that take a hold of the language and make it all corrupt and everything. Yeah, right. Was first posted in January, a decidedly left-wing gloss on immigration is out of step with the PCA's conservative congregants, nearly 2/3 of whom backed President Donald Trump in 2020. The page refers to illegal immigrants as undocumented. Oh, we're still continuing that. The unhoused, right? Well, they call them newcomers back in the Biden administration is what they were called. A term legacy media outlets and leftist organizations used to downplay illegal immigration. Always. Yeah, they're unhoused. They're not homeless. Yeah, an unhoused person raped your child. Yeah. A newcomer sold your child off into sex slavery. Sorry, Miss Patterson, but they're gone. Yeah, we can't find them. Oh, it's no big deal. Well, can you help me because I need to pay for the bills to help find my child? Nope, we're actually going to be sending that money to illegal immigrants. You don't get any of it. Yeah, but I pay into the system. Like, shouldn't I get that money so I can help find my child that you guys pretty much helped lose? No, That money has to go to luxury hotels to illegal immigrants. Yeah, same guys that probably sold off your child into sex slavery and probably raped them before you actually sold them off. Yeah, that's who we're going to give money to. Makes sense to Democrats. To us, we're thinking it's like pure evil. Just pure evil. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. If it makes sense to anybody in here, let me know, please, because you must have some sort of wisdom that we're not able to tap into where Democrats are okay with this stuff. If you can make some sort of reasoning for it, we would love to hear it. But I think all of us are kind of in unison here of how crazy bonkers the insane Democrat Party is. And really the progressive left-wing agenda that's kind of absorbed the Democrat Party, really. Some great news here. We knew it would happen, but it's finally been kind of javeled in, right? Knocking in. Pam Bondi swore in Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. What a fox, huh? Settle down, boys. Settle down. I know some of you are drooling, you savages. No, she's a kick-ass woman, man. You don't mess with this woman. Could kick my ass. This woman could kick everybody's ass in here, okay? Well, on Wednesday, the GOP-led Senate confirmed Tulsi Gabbard to become the Director of National Intelligence in President Biden's second term administration. Previously a Democrat, realized how progressives absorb the Democrat Party. It's a shell of what it used to be. I don't even know why people call themselves Democrats anymore, because they didn't do anything that was democratic about putting forth Kamala Harris. She recognized it. She goes, gee, it seems like Republicans are more centrist than anything. I'm going to go over to their party and help their agenda because they're not loony like the Democrats are. She gets it. RFK Jr. gets it. Elon Musk gets it. A lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact of, wow, who's the Democrat Party? They don't actually follow anything democratic. They seem like a bunch of communists, quasi-fascists that are formed from socialists. Although Democrats and the independents who caucus with them because unified opposing Gabbard, the cabinet pick will now oversee the U.S. intelligence community, managed to woo a handful of Republican holdouts concerned over some of the stances on her key national security issues. Well, they're a bunch of losers at the end of the day. Good for her. That's all I wanted to spotlight was her getting sworn in. Big news for us. We need these people in, man. It's been freaking 3 weeks. The Senate moves slow, and I'm okay with that predominantly because that's the way government's supposed to function. But when we have the massive bleep storm on our hands here, you go, oh, we're going to take our time with this one. It takes a month to get in all the cabinet members. A month? Really? Get your asses in there and start voting for people. I'm tired of this crap. Dizzy, thank you for the $20 to the leftist Dems on TV making threats against America and Americans. Good luck with that. P.S. Your singing is weak too. Follow Dizzy on TikTok. Dizzy does have a good TikTok. Not only is he good at guitar, but he's also good at making TikTok videos. So check him out over there. Dizzy and Deaf is his name. Shout out to the Patriot. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. God bless you. Always in here. I see all the regulars in here. You guys are freaking awesome. All right. So that was Tulsi Gabbard. And I want to see if this is the same. No, we covered that. I apologize. I have duplicates of some stuff because I shuffled some things around. Here we go. Want to cover this one. Federal government to drop $1.5 million funding LGBTQ youth mentorship and campus activism. I always say this, you guys, before 3 years ago, we were covering the drag LGBTQ activism hard, man. Hard to the point where even when we had 1,000 subscribers, we were on Project Veritas in a positive light by James O'Keefe when he still owned it. That's how hard we were going on this stuff, where we actually got recognized. The United States government is set to spend $1.5 million in taxpayer money bankrolling a far left group's LGBT membership. Why not the LGBTQAIS, LMNOP, QRS, TUV, WX, Y, and Z, the alphabet soup? Why not? What? I don't think we're being all inclusive here. Where's the rest of the letters, folks? Membership program for children as young as Jesus Christ, dude. I told you I don't read this stuff beforehand. Look at that. Children as young as 12 years old in Los Angeles and on campus activism for K through 12. These kids can't even read at a 12-year-old level, meaning I don't know, what grade would they be in, like 4th or 5th or something like that? I don't know. But they can't even read. So how about we focus on that instead of trying to, put an activism in the schools to do this stuff to the kids. The LifeWorks mentorship program is one of the initiatives from the Los Angeles LGBT Center that benefits from the financial backing of the federal government, with the Department of Homeland and Human Services agreeing to put up nearly millions of dollars to support it. Jesus. This is why we need RFK Jr. in there. That's going to be axed real quick. The LifeWorks one-on-one mentoring program gives LGBTQ plus youth ages 24 and under the opportunity to match with an adult in the community. That is freaky, dude. That is some freaky stuff. That's like them saying, hey, don't worry, we'll pair you up with somebody that's going to affirm your gender. Yeah, that will help guide you along without your parents knowing how they're going to lop off your genitals and castrate you, and you'll never ever be able to reproduce again, and you should be all messed up. And that's not me making fun of these people. I want them to get the help they need. But you affirming through basically a confirmation bias that somebody's a man when in actuality they're a woman is not helpful in any regard. And I wish and seek them the best in helping fix whatever they're struggling with. Look, we all have sins. We all struggle with something. Everybody in this chat, including myself, struggles with something. I'm no better than anybody else. I have my own sins. I have my own faults. And I need to overcome those through the scriptures, through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. My hope would be the same thing for all these people and all the patriots in the chat. We all struggle with something, but this is some disgusting stuff. A description from the Los Angeles LGBT Center states, with their site specifying that children as young as 12 years old can be involved. Each membership is unique and consists of everything from short and long-term goal setting to building their understanding of the LGBTQ plus elemental P community. The program is framed as a way to give young people role models when families are not accepting of queer youth, with one mentor saying that a lot of us have gone through a period of self-parenting. I'm not saying this doesn't exist, but there's also a lot of parents that are understanding of their child being gay or queer, whatever you want to call it. Hell, I don't know. And honestly, I would say a lot of people really don't care. They just want their son or daughter to live the best and most fruitful life possible. And if they're able to navigate it while following the faith of whatever they're following and not commit to that activity, then you can live a pretty prosperous life and still be okay. One of my best friends in high school was gay, and he kept it for like years, and I didn't care. I knew about it for years before he ever said anything. And I told him, I remember I was sitting there, oddly enough, in a hot tub with him, and he goes, hey, I just want to let you know something. I go, yeah, you're gay. And he goes, well, how'd you know? I was like, dude, I've known for years. I don't care. Again, I don't care if somebody's, I've always said this on this. I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, white, Asian. I could give two bleeps as long as you're a good person. You want to make America great. You want to make your family great. You want to make yourself great and your life great. And you want to help people. I got no qualms with you. Nothing. Now, if you're a Democrat and you have all those things, I'll slap you around a bit, but I still like you. No qualms. No biggie. It's okay. It's fine. We can all breathe. I just want to give you some really good news here. Israel is planning to launch significant strikes against Iran nuclear sites this year. Democrats just lost their minds by saying, yeah, how could you say it's good news? Well, let me tell you, you idiots, because if Iran has a nuclear warhead and they go usurpacious on the rest of the globe, odds are we might be hit or Israel is gone. Israel, I don't think that, see, you gotta spell it out for them. I apologize. I'm going too fast. Listen to my language, Democrats. If Iran gets a nuclear warhead, you know the thing called Israel and the Jews that live there and the people? It's not all Jews, by the way. There's a lot of other people that live there. Gone. I'm going to use different words for them. They struggle. Gone, evaporated, ceased to exist, exterminated, vaporized, kaput, genocidal, parking lot, dirt, fresh ground to build upon. Anybody else have some lingo that we can use to help them extrapolate what happens when Iran gets a nuke? Major cities in America possibly gone, evaporated, poof, millions dead. This is important. They cannot have a nuclear warhead. Israel is currently considering carrying out significant strikes against Iran's nuclear sites this year, according to analysis from U.S. intelligence agencies. The Wall Street Journal reported that the analysis, which was done during the final days of the Biden administration, concluded that Israel is looking to take maximal advantage of Iran's weakened state. And I think Donald Trump's going to support it. Look, officials familiar with the report said that this indicated Israel believes President Donald Trump is far more likely to support Israel's decision to take out the nuclear sites than former President Joe Biden. Well, Joe Biden was not taking out anything. Joe Biden was all ecstatic when he dropped a bomb and it hit a bunch of dirt. So there's that. Yeah, Joey was a weakling. I think Israel likes this because remember, the Iranians tried to kill Benjamin Netanyahu, and the Iranians also put a hit team, multiple, into the interior of the United States from the southern border and bringing in surface to air missiles to take out Donald Trump's plane. and they tried to kill Donald Trump as well. So I think Donald Trump might be okay with saying, let's bomb him. How big can you need? Ben, how big of a bomb do you need? How big do you got in your arsenal? Yeah, that's not going to cut it. Let me get Pete on the phone. Hey, Petey. Yeah, Ben wants a bomb. What do we got? The mother of all bombs? Can I sign it? Please? All right, I'll be there in a second. I love Trump so much. Well, folks, we'll end it there with, I guess, a little bit of a lightened mood and have a little bit of a good time. But thank you for everybody that's always joining me. I know I say that every morning, you guys, but I am sincere when I say that. I love hanging out with y'all. Thank you for giving me your time. And thank you for always spending it here in each and every morning. If you're new here to the show, come hang out with us in the live chat. Come spend some time with us. Meet a lot of new conservatives. We all know each other in here. And we're only going to get bigger. And just thank you to everybody that contributes. Thank you for everybody's a member. Remember, try to become a member over at Rumble and buy Rumble Premium, because we're going to hopefully become a part of their new creator program. We're trying to meet their qualifications. And hopefully Dylan puts in a good word for us, because that allows us to make a little bit more money here on the show, and we could put it back into the show to build it. And we have to do a certain amount of hours on Rumble Premium alone, about 5 hours when we become that. So you have to have Rumble Premium to watch just 5 hours of the show a month. So I want those to be fun. And I think those are going to be dark MAGA nights. So we're going to do that. And I think we can go a little bit bonkers and crazy in the chat. You know, we'll have some drinks and stuff like that. We'll have a freaking good time like we always do. But it's worth it, you guys. Really, Rumble doesn't get much advertising from corporations, you guys, and they've been really good to us, man. They've been really, really good to us and to you guys as well. So they really care about you. They care about making their service and their product good. And I have Rumble Premium myself, by the way. So I'm not saying, oh, you should get it and I don't. They don't pay for it for me. I pay for Rumble Premium. I buy the annual $99 one. So I have it myself. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is too. So with that being said, appreciate all of you. God bless you. Hit that like button before you leave. And we might be back here this evening. We'll see how I feel. You guys tucker me out and I tucker myself out, but we'll see. Maybe I'll have the energy. Bless you. Take care. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump, and pray for your family and loved ones. Take care, Patriots.